6 months. That's 180 days of decisions, 180 chances to shift your direction, 180 opportunities to say, I'm done living on repeat. You don't need a miracle. You need a plan. You don't need permission. You need discipline. And you don't need to change the whole world, just your daily routine. I'm talking about real, measurable, life-altering transformation, the kind that can happen in just 6 months. Here's what I learned and what changed everything for me. When you commit to growth, not for a day, not for a week, but for 6 months straight, your habits begin to rebuild your identity, your thinking sharpens, your energy returns, and suddenly, the person you've been dreaming of becoming doesn't feel like a dream anymore. So today, I want to show you how 6 months of absolute focus can rewrite your future. Not through luck, not through talent, but through small, disciplined actions that compound into something extraordinary. Because the truth is, 6 months of clarity can do what 6 years of confusion never will. And if you give me your attention, I'll show you how to turn your next 6 months into the most powerful chapter of your life. Clarity is the beginning of transformation. You cannot hit a target you can't see. And you can't change a life you haven't clearly defined. Most people wake up every day reacting to circumstances rather than directing their life toward a vision. They drift, hoping life will somehow get better, but hope without clarity is confusion in disguise. The first step in transforming your life in 6 months is to decide exactly what that transformation means. Not vaguely, not someday, but now. What does success look like for you? How will it feel, sound, and look when you arrive there? Jim Rohn used to say, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Clarity is your design. It's what turns a wish into a plan, and a plan into daily direction. When you wake up knowing exactly what you're after, every decision becomes easier. You stop saying yes to distractions and start saying no to mediocrity. You stop wandering and start walking purposefully. The moment you define your goals with absolute precision, you stop living by accident and start living by intention. Clarity doesn't come by thinking harder. It comes by asking better questions. What do I truly want? Why do I want it? Who do I need to become to have it? Most people never ask those questions long enough to get real answers. They settle for surface level clarity. I want to be rich. I want to be happy. But those aren't goals, they're vague feelings. Clarity means details. How much money, by when, for what purpose, through what means, and with what values. The clearer you are, the more your mind, energy, and actions align. Without that clarity, you waste months doing 100 small things that lead nowhere. With clarity, you can do fewer things that actually matter. It's like sailing a ship. If the captain doesn't set a course, the ocean decides the direction. Life works the same way. Without clear intention, you drift with the tides of opinion, distraction, and emotion. But once you decide where you're going, the winds begin to cooperate. You start noticing opportunities you were blind to before, because your mind is now tuned to your mission. Clarity acts like a magnet. It attracts resources, ideas, and people that resonate with your vision. When you're unclear, even the best opportunities look confusing. When you're clear, even obstacles become signals showing you what to adjust. Clarity is also emotional. It's not just about setting goals. It's about feeling connected to them. When you're deeply clear about your why, you find the strength to persist when progress feels slow. Most people quit not because they're weak, but because they were never fully clear on why they started. The stronger your reason, the longer your endurance. That's why clarity is not just mental. It's spiritual. It gives meaning to effort and direction to energy. Once you define exactly what you want, why you want it, and who you must become to achieve it, the next 6 months stop being a mystery and start becoming a mission. Discipline is the invisible force that turns intentions into results. Everyone has dreams, but very few have the discipline to turn those dreams into daily action. Rohn used to say, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. That bridge is built one decision at a time. Discipline doesn't ask if you feel like it. It simply demands that you do it. The moment you rely on motivation alone, you lose the battle because motivation fades. Discipline is what stays when inspiration leaves. It's the quiet, consistent agreement you make with yourself that says, I will follow through no matter how I feel. In 6 months, discipline can reshape every part of your life because it rewires how you think, act, and respond to challenges. It replaces excuses with action and hesitation with momentum. Discipline begins with small promises. You wake up at the time you said you would. You complete the workout you said you'd do. You study the skill you said you'd learn. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your self-respect. Every time you break one, you weaken your confidence. People talk about self-love, but the purest form of self-love is self-discipline. It's the ability to do what's best for you even when it's uncomfortable. When you live by discipline, you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop needing others to push you because you've learned to push yourself. Discipline is also about order. It organizes chaos. Without it, you live in reaction, reacting to moods, emotions, and other people's demands. With it, you live in creation, intentionally building the life you want. Discipline creates rhythm, and rhythm builds momentum. When you repeat a disciplined act every day, it compounds quietly until one day the results become visible. People call it success, but what they're really seeing is months of consistent effort that looked ordinary from the outside. Discipline hides its rewards at first. It tests your patience. It asks, can you keep going before you see the results? And those who say yes are the ones who eventually transform. It's easy to start something when it's new and exciting, but discipline begins where excitement ends. That's where real growth happens. It's in the mornings you don't feel like getting up, the nights you'd rather rest than work, the moments when no one is watching. That's when discipline quietly molds your character. Every disciplined day adds strength to your future. Every undisciplined day steals a piece of it. The good news is discipline can be learned, practiced, and improved. It's a skill, not a personality trait. It grows every time you choose long-term benefit over short-term comfort. In 6 months, a disciplined person can achieve what an undisciplined person couldn't in 6 years. Because while others wait for perfect conditions, the disciplined act now. They don't need everything to be easy or ideal. They just need a reason strong enough to stay consistent. Once you choose discipline, you stop waiting for life to change and start creating the change yourself. Your daily routine is the most honest reflection of your future. You can talk about dreams all day, write goals on paper, and make vision boards that look impressive, but none of it matters if your routine doesn't match your ambition. Rohn used to say, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. That means your life is being shaped not by what you occasionally do, but by what you consistently repeat. If you want to see where you'll be 6 months from now, don't look at your intentions. Look at your schedule. Every morning routine, every decision about how you spend your time is either moving you closer to the person you want to become or keeping you trapped in the same cycle you've always known Transformation begins when your daily actions align with your desired identity. Your routine builds your rhythm, and your rhythm builds your results. If your days are chaotic, your results will be unpredictable. If your days are structured, your growth becomes inevitable. The secret of transformation is not in doing big things once, but small things repeatedly until they become part of who you are. The gym session, the reading hour, the early morning focus, the journal entry, the extra call, the saved dollar, all these small steps may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they create momentum that cannot be stopped. Habits are the invisible architecture of destiny. They quietly build or quietly destroy, depending on what you choose to repeat. The most successful people aren't necessarily more talented or smarter. They've simply designed their days better. They protect their mornings, guard their focus, and plan their energy as carefully as their money. They know that the day is won or lost in the first few hours. If the morning begins with purpose, the rest of the day follows that direction. But if it begins with distraction, the rest of the day becomes a chain of reactions. Your routine teaches your mind who's in control. When you keep a structure, you train your brain to follow your command rather than your emotions. That's how consistency turns into confidence. A disciplined routine also reduces decision fatigue. When you have structure, you waste less time thinking about what to do next. You free mental space for creativity, learning, and progress. You stop living in reaction mode and start operating from intention. Every evening, when you reflect on your day, you're not guessing whether you grew. You'll know because your actions were measurable. The repetition might feel boring, but that boredom is where greatness is built. Ordinary routines create extraordinary results when done long enough. Your daily routine is your silent contract with success. It's the proof of your commitment, the evidence of your discipline, and the framework of your transformation. Every hour either supports your dream or sabotages it. When your routine begins to serve your highest goals instead of your lowest impulses, change stops being a possibility and starts becoming a pattern. Consistency is the secret ingredient behind every lasting transformation. Most people start strong, but few stay steady. They sprint for a week and quit for a month, wondering why nothing changes. Rohn said it best, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. It's not about doing something massive once. It's about doing something meaningful every day. Consistency beats intensity because intensity fades when the mood changes, but consistency endures when emotions shift. You don't need perfection. You need repetition. The small effort repeated daily compounds into power that momentum alone can't match. 6 months of steady effort will outperform a lifetime of on and off enthusiasm because consistency turns actions into identity. When you act consistently, you create predictability in your progress. You begin to trust yourself. You know that even on your bad days, you'll still show up. That self-trust is rare, and it's what separates the average from the exceptional. Consistency builds confidence, and confidence builds results. Every day you keep going, you strengthen the muscle of resilience. It's not about how much you do in one burst. It's about how often you repeat what matters. The truth is, life doesn't reward the most talented, it rewards the most consistent. Because consistency keeps you in motion long enough for improvement to take effect. The power of consistency lies in compounding. Just like saving a small amount of money daily grows into wealth, small daily actions grow into mastery. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't seem like much, but in 6 months, you've absorbed several books worth of wisdom. Doing 20 push-ups a day feels small, but in 6 months, your body transforms. Making one meaningful conversation daily might not look like progress, but in 6 months, your network changes your opportunities. The compounding effect of consistency turns the ordinary into extraordinary. It's not about what happens in a single day. It's about what happens when you refuse to break the chain. Consistency also demands patience. It's easy to stay consistent when results show up quickly, but transformation tests your endurance through delayed gratification. The early phase often feels slow, unrewarding, and invisible, but beneath the surface, growth is building quietly. Every time you persist despite boredom, fatigue, or doubt, you reinforce a new pattern in your brain that says, I follow through. That's how consistency reshapes your identity. You stop being someone who tries and start becoming someone who commits. The beauty of consistency is that it doesn't require genius, luck, or perfect timing. It requires showing up when it's inconvenient, staying steady when it's uncertain, and keeping faith when progress seems hidden. It's the rhythm that keeps success alive. When you become consistent, you stop chasing motivation and start creating momentum. Every small act done regularly builds the foundation for massive change, because consistency transforms effort into excellence and excellence into evolution. 6 months of focus can outdo 6 years of drifting. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish in a short, focused period because they spend their time scattered, distracted, and divided between too many goals. Rohn used to say that success is not a matter of time, but a matter of focus. The clock is not your enemy, your distraction is. 6 months of deliberate, undistracted effort can completely change your direction if you decide to cut out noise and commit to a single vision. Focus is the magnifying glass that turns sunlight into fire. The light is always there, but without direction, it never burns through anything. When you focus your energy on one clear outcome, progress accelerates because all your mental, emotional, and physical energy begins working in the same direction. Focus begins with elimination. You can't focus on everything, so you must decide what truly matters. Every yes you say to a distraction is a no to your future. The reason most people never transform is not because they lack intelligence or opportunity. It's because they divide their attention across too many half-finished pursuits. Transformation requires depth, not width. You don't need to chase 10 things halfway. You need to master one thing fully. In 6 months, mastery of one area can produce results that dabbling in 10 never will. Focus is the discipline of saying no to everything that doesn't serve your main purpose. It's about creating boundaries that protect your time, energy, and peace. 6 months of deep focus changes how you think and operate. It simplifies your life because you stop wasting time on decisions that don't matter. You wake up knowing exactly what needs to be done, and that clarity creates momentum. Every focus day compounds, turning 6 months into a powerhouse of progress. People will wonder how you change so fast, but what they won't see are the countless hours of concentrated effort behind the scenes. Focus turns time into leverage. What takes the unfocused person years to build, the focused person can achieve in months because there is no leakage of attention. The modern world rewards distraction. Notifications, entertainment, and endless scrolling dilute your mind until focus feels foreign. That's why focus has become a superpower. When you train your mind to concentrate deeply, even for a few hours each day, you gain an advantage over 95% of people who live in constant reaction. Focus requires boundaries, turning off the noise, ignoring opinions, avoiding the urge to multitask. It means protecting your solitude so you can think, plan, and create without interruption. 6 months of focus is a transformation contract with yourself. It's the period where you decide that every day counts, every hour matters, and every distraction is a thief. When your goals become your daily obsession, time slows down and progress speeds up. You begin to notice opportunities that match your intention, and you execute faster because your energy is undivided. What others call luck is often just the result of 6 months of pure, relentless focus directed toward a single purpose.